Hello guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing two-step equations. So this would be the next step if you've already conquered one-step equations, moving on to two-step. And then after this is multi-step. So stay tuned for a video on multi-step as well. So first thing, we're going to look at what is the first step whenever you're doing a two-step equation problem or one-step or multi-step. Train tracks, good job. So why are we putting the train tracks? So the purpose of solving this problem is to find out the value of the variable, which is n in this case. And in order to do so, you have to find this side of the equation has to be equal to the value of this side of the equation. So we do that to kind of separate our sides so that we can make sure that we're doing everything on one side of the equation and not moving it over to the other side on accident. Okay, so in order to do this, whenever you're solving problems, you use the order of operations, right? So the order of operations, that's what that stands for. You always go with your grouping symbols first, then your exponents, then you're doing multiplication or division, and then finally adding or subtracting. So you're always moving in this direction when you're doing order of operations. So in order to solve for a variable in an equation, you are going to be doing the opposite because you have to undo what has already been done to find out what this originally was, right? So that means you're going to have to go in the opposite direction of your order of operations. So now, instead of starting with grouping, that would be the last thing that you would do. So we're going to look up here to our problem. We're going to start at the bottom where you would normally end for order of operations since we're undoing what has already been done. Okay, so first thing we're looking at is addition or subtraction. Up here we have subtraction, so we're going to start there. So minus 6, the opposite is plus 6. Good job. Why do you think I drew my line all the way across over here? Because if we add 6 on this side, we have to add 6 on this side. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. It's not fair for me to give candy to one class and not to the other class, right? So minus 6 plus 6, what does that equal? 0. Good job. So if you cover this up, this is actually showing you a negative 6 and a positive 6. So sidebar, let's draw our number line here and explain to those of you that are not sure how I did this, how we got that. So remember with your number lines, after you go past 0, it's your negatives, right? And then if you add something, you're going towards positive numbers, and if you're subtracting something, then you're going towards the negative numbers on the number line. So if we covered up this right here and we just looking at this part, we have negative 6, so that's right here on my number line. And then we are adding 6 to it. So remember, adding, we're moving towards the positive numbers on my number line. So we're going to add 6 starting at negative 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's how we get to our 0. That's how this works. Okay? So we have added 6 here. Now adding 6 over here. What is 18 plus 6? 24. Good job. I'm just scooting my equal sign down, and I'm going to scoot down my 3n now. You can put an addition sign or a subtraction sign here because either way you're going to get the same answer. So 3n plus 0. What is that? I'm not trying to trick you here. I know a lot of kids, when I say 3n plus 0, they're like, okay, well anything plus 0 equals itself, so should be 3n, right? Now, if I were to put a subtraction sign there, remember I said it would be the same either way. 3n minus 0 is also 3n, because if you're subtracting 0, you're actually not subtracting anything, right? So it's going to stay the same. So once again, I'm going to just move my numbers down so I have them on an equal playing field, so to speak. And now we're looking at 3n equals 24. My order of operations, normally we go down. Right now we're we're undoing what has happened. So we've gone through this step. Now we're moving up to here. So we're going to be doing our multiplication and division step next. So what does it mean when a variable is touching a number? What operation is being performed? Multiplication, right? So you can put a multiplication dot in between there if that makes you feel better about it, if it helps you remember that means to multiply, or you can leave it alone. That's up to you. So if multiplication is being done, in order to undo multiplication, what operation do we have to do? Division, right? So I'm dividing on both sides of the equation because whatever you do to one, you have to do the other. And what number am I going to be dividing by? So we multiplied by 3, so we have to divide by 3. Remember, the opposite or the inverse is what we're trying to do here, so that we're undoing what has already been done. So 3 divided by 3. What is that equal to? 1, right? Anything divided by itself is equal to 1. So now you have n divided by nothing, right? We're not dividing it by anything. We're going to move that down. We're going to have 1n here. If you have 1 of something, you can just call it whatever it is, right? If you have 1x, well, it's just x. If you have 1n, it's just n. So I can just put n here. Okay, so on this side, 24 divided by 3. What is that? 8. Good job. So we can put 8 down here. Scoot my equal sign down. You have nothing else to do because you have the variable by itself, which was the point all along. So your final answer is n is equal to 8. So are we done yet? No, we have to check it, right? We've got to do our check step. That's the very last thing that you do. So in order to check it, we're going to take this 8, plug it back in up here. Okay, so now we're following the order of operations at this point because we have solved for everything else. So 3 times 8, because remember n is equal to 8, so 3 times 8 is 24. 24 minus 6 is 18. Is 18, this side of the equation is 18. Is 18 equal to this side of the equation, which is 18? Yes, so we got it, right? Make sure that you always do your check step at the end, because if you made a silly error like I did on the first 3 tries of this video, then you can check yourself and you can be like, oh wait, what did I do here? So always remember to finish up with a check step.